Looks like we're still waiting for a couple more commissioners, huh?
Yep, Glynis just joined. So I think we're still waiting for Rachel and Ryan.
Yep.
Sorry, I thought I was going to be able to get dinner together before this meeting. Forget it.
There's Rachel.
Cell phone repair. Did you know Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you can pay for what you need? Just get a quote at libertymutual.com. Yeah. I might get a book.
Hi, Rachel. Hi, Glynis.
Hi, Thomas, and Rachel and Glennis.
And Thomas and Polly.
Hello.
Only pay for what you need.
We can't make you leave your acne alone.
And Kent, he's on the line as well. We should wish him hi.
Sounds like somebody's watching commercials.
I'll mute. It's I think it's coming through my headphones anyway. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was a Liberty commercial.
That'll be only car insurance, we've decided.
All I know is it's snowing again.
I know.
Well, the sun is out, so funny.
That time of year.
Yep.
Okay, I don't know if Ryan will be joining us. Hopefully he'll be joining us soon. But should we kick off the meeting? Let's get it started. It's after 6. So first things first, I have to read the approval, read the letter about determination regarding conducting the town of Hideout public meetings without an anchor location. The Planning Commission Chair of the town of Hideout hereby determines that conducting a meeting with an anchor location presents a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present at the anchor location pursuant to Utah Code Section 52-4-2074 and Hideout Town Ordinance 2020-03. The facts upon which this determination is based include the percent and number of positive COVID-19 cases in Utah has been over 7.22% of those tested since April 1st, 2021. The 7-day average of positive cases has been over 400 since April 6th, 2021. This meeting will not have a physical anchor location. All participants will connect remotely. All public meetings are available via YouTube live stream on the Hideout Utah YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/channel/UCKD. You can should be able to see that in the meeting notice. Interested parties may join by dialing in as follows. The meeting URL is /zoom.us/j/435-659-4739. And to join by telephone, dial 408-638-0986 with a meeting ID of 435-659-4739. This determination will expire in 30 days on May 6th, 2021. Okay. Let me put. First thing we have to do is do a roll call. So can I call out the names and say yes or present? Donna?
Yes.
Glynis?
Here.
Rachel? Rachel, are you there?
She's on mute.
I can see you on the participants, so I'm going to mark you down.
I'm here.
Ryan, have you joined us?
Yes.
Okay. So we've got, and me, that makes 5. First thing on the agenda is to approve last month's minutes. Everybody have a chance to read them. Any comments? No comments?
No
No
comments
changes?
here.
Okay. Can I get a motion then to approve last month's minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Donna.
I'll second.
Thank you, Glynis. Let's have a vote. Rachel,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Glynis,
Yes.
Donna,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. So that's unanimous. And that's first things for, okay. So now we're on to first item on the agenda for this month is the Deer Springs Phase 2, 3, and 4 discussion. Is there anyone from Deer Springs? Is Nate on or one of his representatives?
So, Mr. Chairman, I spoke with Nate earlier today, and he is not ready. They were not able to get their graphics ready for a quick work session tonight. We had asked them if it were possible to try to get some graphics ready so that they could give you guys a heads up before the next meeting on the 28th. But he was unable to do that, and he said he'll bring everything fully packaged for the next meeting.
Okay, and hopefully you can get that out to us
Sooner than later.
more than a few days
Yeah.
ahead of time so we can review it. That'd be great. Okay, so then the second thing on the agenda is Shoreline Phase 2 amended and Phase 3 discussion. Let's start with Thomas. Why don't you kind of go over your recommendations and comments, if you would?
Sure.
Well, and I think I've spoken with the attorney for the applicant, and based on Thomas's staff report, they would like to be continued to the meeting on the 28th. That will give staff and the applicant a chance to talk about a lot of these very major issues offline, so that we can, discuss them and just figure out where we're in agreement, where we're at disagreement, and get their responses. And so they asked to be continued to the 28th as well.
Okay, so we have time to notice that and have public
It would be
open session.
continuation of tonight's, and we were, Thomas and I weren't sure. I need to take a look at we just have the minutes up. Was the public hearing continued or closed at the end of the last meeting?
I don't know.
Just give me
Let's
one
see. Let me
sec.
get the minutes.
Because depending on that, if it was closed, then we're okay. If it was continued, then we should open the public hearing in case there's anyone from the public who wants to speak to it. Additionally, from anything new from the last time. And but if it was closed, then we would just continue it to the 20th.
It says line 39 on page 6. There being no further public comments, the public hearing on the Shoreline Phase 2 amendment closed at 8:26 p.m.
Okay.
But
So,
And then
wouldn't we have
that's
to
phase
open it up?
2.
Oh,
That was phase 2. Let me see.
And on page 4, on line 21 and 22. Oh, that was Deer Water, sorry.
That was Deer Waters. Yeah. On the last page, it says there being no further public comments, the public hearing closed at 9:07. That's line 27 on page 8.
if you chose to, you could reopen the public hearing, or you could just continue everything until the next meeting. It's up to you. to the commission.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll wait till then, but I think it should, based on whatever new information comes out, the public should probably have a chance to make their any further comments or questions based on the discussion that about these phase 2 amended and phase 3 both.
I have a big question. And that is, okay, I know where shoreline phase 1 is. That's the twin homes up at the top.
Right.
And then phase 2, according to the plat, a revision, are 3 rows of homes. What's being built down by the park?
Yeah.
That is a different phase.
What's
and I
that
think-
called?
I think Ryan Taylor, I think you're on, and I think you know the number of that phase. I forget the name or the number of that phase. Are you on, Ryan?
Yeah, so I'm not sure I'm following exactly where we are in the town. Are we talking about the home?
Shoreline.
Yeah.
The ones
are you
around
talking
the
about
Aspen Grove Park.
the Aspen Grove? Okay.
I thought that was all part of 2.
It is. So down low, so 2 was broken up into 2A, B, and C. What we're talking about tonight, or not talking about tonight, is amending 2A, which is the uppermost part of what's already built.
Okay, so basically it's that 2 rows are built. It's that 3rd row that we're kind of discussing then. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So just because I don't know what's going on here, is 2A being approved separate from, I assume 2B and 2C were previously approved?
Yes. So if I can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Hopefully the right one. So this is phase 2, right? And I forget how to draw, Thomas. I always
Hover
remember
over
this
the-
right after I can't.
Here, I'll hover over the.
There it is. Okay. So this is all
Okay, so that's
all
more than,
phase 2.
then that's more than 46 lots.
Well,
correct?
so this is phase 2 that was previously approved, and then it was broken into A.
Okay, but in the calculations,
Yeah.
Ryan, with their new submittal, they didn't include those 4 buildings on the upper road in phase 3.
Okay, right. So the amendment we're talking about, the discussion we're having is revolves around these. So all this was approved before.
but
Clear.
but what my
Here,
guess my
Glennis, I
question
think
is,
I know what you're trying to say is that in all of phase 2, there's a lot more than 46 buildings. And I think,
yes.
but phase 2 amended this A portion has the 46 lots as opposed to not the whole. It is very confusing. I had that same.
Okay. But
Yeah.
in Thomas's calculations, he does include all these lots down around the park, right? Because that's part of 2. Then.
Yes, all of these lots down here in this area are part of 2. This whole area is 2C. And I can't remember exactly how the lines are drawn, but that whole area is basically 2C.
Okay. It's the rows that are the 2A.
Yeah. So it's this area here that it's these units that we're discussing tonight. So they are platted in phase 2 as uphill units. So they're supposed to front off of this road here and have driveways like this. And Glenn wants to sell them as downhill units and front off of this road, which is in phase 3.
Yeah.
And so we've so there's a lot of different ways to do a plat amendment. We've requested that if they're going to be in phase, front off of a road in phase 3, that they just become part of phase 3. So right now, the 2A plat amendment, right now phase 2 comes to here. We want to move phase 2 back to here and just add those units to phase 3 because they're on a road, all the utilities, they're part of 3.
Right. And they
So-
should probably be the same kind of units as 3.
Yeah.
Is my opinion.
Well, and that's definitely a great discussion point. My
Yes.
point was only that, because they are all the utilities and services off of 3, I thought it would look very odd to have them cut out into a phase 2 plat. But then
Mhm.
I don't know how to approve that phase 2 plat if phase 3 roads don't get built, because then it makes for kind of a mess. So that's why the phase 2 plat amendment is deleting units, and the phase 3 has more, is just because we're moving those same boxes
Okay.
to a plat where it
Okay.
makes more sense.
Okay, yeah, now I understand the whole thing a lot better. Thank you. Thank you.
And one of the things that we should, I think, ask the developers to do when they come forward with this kind of change is to give us a before and after picture so that we can see exactly what they're doing. I think we saw some of that last week, but it was a lot of Thomas drawing on
Mhm.
those kinds of drawings that that Ryan is showing us as well. So, and I said that to Thomas earlier today about Claim. Claims wants to change their walls, but when they come forward, they should show us what the original walls were supposed to look like and what the new walls are going to look like, so that we have a basis to see what was and what they're asking for.
Mhm.
So do we need to make a motion and pass the discussion and possible approval of the shoreline to next week, or we just say we're going to continue it? Do we have to take a vote on that or not?
Bruce,
Well, you vote to continue it.
Okay.
Bruce, could you maybe just, for my clarification, could you maybe just take a head nod so we understand who will be here on the 28th, just to ensure we have a quorum?
Okay, I'll go first. I'm not sure I'll be here. I'm going to try. I have to get a lot of things done because I'm leaving town the next morning. So I'm a maybe. Glynis, will you be there?
Yes, I will be there.
Donna, you were talking about maybe being able to do it on the phone.
I looked again at my calendar. I actually can make it definitely from 6 to 7. I am on call from 7 to 10. So I may not, or may then or not, I could be there for an hour and a half. I was looking at the wrong week earlier. I thought it was a maybe, but now I should be able, it starts at 6, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Okay. So you're, and on the 28th, we're not just going to be talking about this then. The 28th was originally set up to discuss with Nate about Deer Springs. So this is in addition to that. So I imagine the meeting will go more than just an hour or two.
yeah, okay. Okay, so maybe.
Ryan, how about you? What's your availability for the 28th?
I can be there. That's the Wednesday, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep. Correct. I can be there.
And Rachel? Can you be there on the 28th?
You're mute.
Rachel?
Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, I can be there on the 28th.
Okay. And we don't know whether or not Tony will be back. Or has anybody heard from him?
I don't
know.
I heard.
I reached out to him and he hasn't responded back yet. So he may not be checking emails or phone.
Okay. So we'll have Glynis, Rachel, and Ryan. So that's 3. Does that make a quorum for sure? I mean, we'll have them for sure. Does that make a quorum?
Yeah, 3 is a quorum. for, something like this, it would, I know it's just hard. Well, wait, so we're going to have, okay, Glynis, Rachel and Ryan, and then we'll have Donna for a little bit of it. And Bruce is a maybe, and
And I'm a
maybe,
maybe.
and we're waiting to hear from Tony.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
okay, that's a quorum.
Good.
3
Okay.
is a quorum, but as many of you that can come for, would be better if
Right.
at all possible. But I understand everyone has other competing issues, so.
And I may be there the whole time. So, it's hard to say right now.
Right, yeah. Okay, great.
Perfect.
So can I have a motion then to move the shoreline discussion, continue it to 4/28?
Do we want to ask some of the people from the community that wanted to say something if it's okay with them that we move it, or do we want to just move it?
Well, I suggest that you move it. I strongly recommend that. First of all, we actually requested that they move it, that we not push it forward tonight, so that we could try to resolve some of the outstanding issues, or at least understand their positions, so we can work that out, because these are really major issues. So, I don't know that they're prepared right now. That happened right before the meeting, but we said, well, we do have this other meeting, so let's kind of piggyback on it. If you want to invite the public to speak on it, you can, but I just think, I wonder if it would be more fruitful to do it when everyone's present and we're have the application really in front of us, with the applicant there as well.
Okay.
So between now and then, will Thomas be working with them to resolve some of the issues, or what's going to happen between now and then?
Yeah, it's both Thomas and I. Oh, go ahead, Thomas. Oh.
I think he's
Thomas and I will be working along with Ryan, the rest of staff, with the applicant to see how they respond to the issues, and I believe we'll be meeting at the beginning of next week to see where they're at.
Is there an opportunity for any of the planning commission members to join any of those meetings?
I wouldn't recommend it. You have kind of a function to kind of hear everything in a public setting, and so it's not recommended that it would create kind of legal issues if you were to participate in those conversations.
Okay, if I have any suggestions for how I sort of think the plan would look better, can I pass those on?
Pass them on.
Yes. Talk to Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say Thomas is probably your liaison for anything that is planning commission related. And Ryan is your liaison for anything more engineering, but Thomas is your go-to guy. So absolutely. And if you have questions, or if there are things that you think should be brought up, or anything you've noticed, go ahead and let us know, so that we can, try to bring it up before the next meeting. So at least it can be discussed at the next meeting in a fruitful way, as opposed to everyone, being blindsided then and not getting a response.
Okay. I will.
Would it be out of order to ask, I know this would be a short period of time, just 2 weeks, but one of the things that I would like to see is their overall plan. And they've got multiple phases to go. And we haven't seen, this planning commission hasn't seen any of that information, and what was available, I think, is at least 4 or 5 years old. So is there any way he could update what his plan for the entire development is, even if it's just an overview? What's coming in?
What's coming in, and like in what order?
Right.
We can certainly ask for that. You're right, Bruce. All we have right now is this preliminary subdivision approval plan, which is really more of a conceptual plan that was approved in 2016. And so, yeah, we can ask him if there are any potential proposed updates to that plan and what his order is. That we can ask that.
And a
I think it's
phasing plan,
important to
right?
get the whole development, in front of us, just to see the density that he's proposing. And obviously it's in his MDA, but we'd like to see it, and maybe we can make some comments on that. But obviously that wouldn't be the focus of the conversation, but it would be nice to have.
No, we can get that. And it also does have an impact on what is required as part of his MDA requirements, right? And so in terms of different unit typologies, some of the dining, entertainment, et cetera, requirements that are supposed to be a part of that proposal, that will probably daylight over the course of the next couple of weeks as we work with them.
Yeah, I think that's good. Thanks.
Should I ask some of the questions that I had, or should I wait and ask you those later? Thomas.
Were they specific questions relative to the application? Polly, do you have a preference how that is conveyed?
Either way is fine, is legal. I mean, we're in a public meeting, right? So you're all here, it's being recorded. I would say if they're kind of more, if they're just very specific detail oriented, it might be better to just talk to Thomas offline. But if they're kind of bigger question type things, more concept type things, then it's absolutely appropriate so that the other commissioners can hear your questions.
Okay, well, here's an example of one of my questions, and maybe that'll help answer that. So I'm looking at, I think it's the fourth page of Thomas's, what is this called? The review. And so my question, and it's regarding visitor parking. Is there any kind of requirement for how many parking spaces should be allotted per lot? Like, one spot per 4 units?
We don't have a specific requirement, and as part of the MDA, there's not a specific requirement noted in the master development agreement. And so we're working with them. I think that from the first meeting to the most recent meeting, there were some additional visitor spots added. And so we're coordinating that with them now. But Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we had a specific number via the MDA or the code that we could hold them to for visitor parking.
Oh, that's correct. Unfortunately, the code at the time did not have parking requirements.
Okay, so that was one of my questions. Okay, and another question that is on the next page, looking at the open space, on your B, it says section 13.1.1 of the master development agreement requires 25% of the project shall be open space. Is that the entire project that Bruce just requested?
It's the entire project area, and it's each pod. And if you go to the next page, I think page 5 at the very top is that little table up there.
Yeah.
So far, Glenn indicated that he's in the 50 to 60% open space range. And so I think they meet that requirement. They meet that requirement because the definition of open space in the MDA is so loosely written that it's anything that's not a road, sidewalk, trail, or rooftop, right? Anything not impervious, i.e. anything pervious, is considered open space. And so it's a pretty low bar to get the 25% with that definition.
Yeah, yeah. So it's 25% per each of those shoreline 1, shoreline 2, shoreline 3.
It's actually 25% of all
the
shoreline.
entire,
There's
okay,
25% of golden eagle. There's 25% of soaring hawk. Each
Right.
has to be 25%, and collectively, the entire master HOA, all 1,300 acres, there has to be at least 25% open space.
okay,
Again, the bar is so
1,300,
low, they can get it.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, that was another one of my questions. So, let's see, is there any other? On your, oh, what page is this one? Shoreline overall, you have a little graph at the bottom, and it's PA1, PA2, PA3. What is PA in reference to?
Those are in reference to their earlier submittal in 2016. They referenced sections of the entire shoreline development area as PAs, and that was just a referencing number. They don't necessarily, they do not correspond to phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when, per Bruce's ask of what did they initially submit, you guys, I think, have only seen it 1 or 2 times. We've shown it briefly, but we'll spend a little bit more time at the next meeting and show you that so you can see where density was allocated. Those density calculations total, the 700, that's solid. I think those areas have changed a little bit with the current proposals for subdivision layouts.
Yeah.
They're not an
Okay.
exact match. For again, PA1 does not mean phase 1.
Okay, okay, okay. That's, I was like, what does PA mean?
A little confusing.
Okay, okay, okay. So, and then on the last, well, let me see. Wait a minute. Oh, code.
You know what? Could I show you something real quickly, just so
Sure.
I answer this question, because I know others have asked it. This was the initial preliminary
Yeah.
subdivision application. That's the one that you guys have seen. It's really more of a conceptual, but this is kind of the area down here that we're working in, right? Is kind of down here, but this is the entire area. So you can see these PA is almost like a stylistic, a typology stack.
Oh, you know what? The PAs weren't on there is actually one included in here, but they were not, it was cut off.
Oh, they got cut off. That's right.
Yeah, so
My
I couldn't
report, it
see
probably got
PA.
cut off. I was trying to zoom in. Yeah, but so these are the
Okay.
PAs. You could see PA1, you could see PA4, etc. Again, they don't relate to phases.
So just because I got to get oriented here, up here on the upper right, all the way over, where is that green one, the one house that's like on a cliff?
No, that's none of that has been built. It's right off the roundabout there where all that those stacked
This is-
walls and the big bunch of rocks are.
Kind of
Yeah.
the stacked rock area is up here. Keep in mind, this is the roundabout right here, right?
Right. Oh, okay.
So these are
But isn't
done.
that kind of a cliff there, if I remember correctly?
It
It's
is.
a very steep slope, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there will probably be some maneuvering when that comes before you, some maneuvering of siting changes, I'm gonna guess.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I was like, that, if I remember correctly, that's kind of a cliff there. How are they building houses there? Okay.
The one house that's there now would be in that little kind of grayish area to the upper left of it. There's
Oh, yes, up here.
four lots in that little gray area below the road.
Yeah.
Oh, in this area?
No. Up
left.
there, that it's
Like
kind of
a-
a cutout. It's off the
Oh,
road.
right here. Oh,
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
one
That's where
house-
that house is.
Yeah, it's on the very left-hand side of that red box that he just drew. And
Yeah.
there are 3 more lots to to the right of that as we're looking at it now.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, you get the multiple stacked walls that go around that corner almost all the way to the roundabout.
Okay. I'll look at it next time I'm out walking a little closer, so I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then just so I save some questions for next time, I'll skip a couple. Okay, let's see. Yeah, there's that picture with the PAs knocked off. You're the very last one that you have that. Can just for my edification, maybe everybody else's a little bit. Can you explain the RSPA zoning map, that last page, the density pod areas master plan, how that
So sure.
affects things?
So these are some of the questions that we outlined in the report. And
Right.
one of them was with regard to this area here that is 280 acres outside of the township. I think the town never annexed that area. And so that'll need to be pulled out of the density calculation. So that's the area you see up here, right? And for sake
Okay.
of orienting you, north is up, and this is shoreline right
Yeah.
here.
Uh-huh.
So I think kind of well, I guess the roundabout.
Well, it includes, isn't it include 3, 2, and 1?
Well, 3 is actually not part of the, there's not a density pod associated with 3. So I'm not so sure why it's on here unless it's something that's forthcoming, which we have to determine. That was one of our questions. Right now, this is maybe that's part of the Plum subdivision actually. And so maybe we'll see that develop soon, but it's not been included in any of the density submission numbers, which is one of the questions in our report. But the shoreline area is not fully depicted on this map. And so that is another question of ours. Why is that not fully depicted on this map? It's only shown in this area right here, the dark area. And we've requested a color map because these colors have significance. I've never seen the color version of this map. And so we have asked for that.
Okay. Okay.
So like Golden Eagle is up here. Soaring Hawk is down here. Of course, Hideout Canyon, et cetera. So you could start to get a sense of where these pods were located in this development area.
Okay, so well, because we can't see the colors, we don't really know what's what. So we don't know whether it's medium density or
that's right.
high density.
I can't determine that on this map. That's right. But this is the full master HOA right there.
Okay, yeah, that would be helpful to know.
Mm-hmm. So we've asked for that.
Okay. Okay, I saved some questions for next time.
Okay. Great. Yeah, if any of you have questions or need help walking through something, whether it's a map or anything in my report or in Ryan's report, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Really, we can walk you through the details if there's a question that you have.
How about Donna?
Thank you.
Or Ryan or Rachel, do you have any questions or comments you want to make at this point?
No, I'm okay with what was discussed. I am going to, definitely email you, Thomas, with a couple of items also.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bruce.
Sure. Okay. So again, from a process perspective, do we need to have a motion and vote on anything or not? We do need to continue this, right?
Just a motion to continue to April 28th.
Okay.
I move I'll make a motion. I move that we continue discussion of shoreline 2A and 3 to April 28th.
Thank you.
Or the,
Yep.
actually, is it, and also continue the public comment.
Okay, thank you.
And also the Deer Waters items.
I think you already continued those, didn't you?
We
Or-
didn't vote on it.
No, we didn't
Okay,
vote
sorry.
on that.
But yeah, it wasn't going to be a public. Anyway, so, okay, so we want to include that in your motion, Glynis, that we'll include Deer Waters,
Yes, we'll
Deer
include
Springs.
your springs.
Deer Springs
Deer
on
Spring,
the 28th.
right? So Deer Springs on the 28th is a special meeting. They want to bring that forward to you and show you some changes, hopefully have you make a vote, or if you have questions, etc. Otherwise, yeah, Deer Springs will be for final subdivision approval. Yeah.
And we will get information on that
Yes.
soon.
Yes. Again, like I said, we were hoping to get you some of the kind of the higher level conceptuals tonight so that you could see it. If you had any questions, that would give them a couple of weeks to really prep for the final subdivision hearing on the 28th. They're not quite ready.
Okay, can I get a second on Glynis's motion?
I'll second.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Okay, Rachel seconds it.
Mhm.
Let's have the vote then. Donna,
Yes.
Glynis,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. So that's unanimous. All right, anything else? There's nothing else on the agenda. Is there anything else anyone would like to say or comment before we ask for a motion to close this month's meeting?
I'm good.
Okay, can I get a motion then to close the meeting?
I'll make a motion that we close the meeting.
Thank you, Glynis. Second.
I'll second it.
All right, Donna. Let's have a vote. Rachel,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Glynis,
Yes.
Donna,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. So meeting is adjourned.
I bet Tony wishes he were here tonight.
Yeah, that's a fast one, huh? Wow, not even an hour.
We'll see you guys next.
Hey,
Uh-oh.
Ryan, we need your phone number.
Okay, I'll email it.
Okay, thanks.
All right, folks, thanks a lot. We'll see you, hopefully we'll see most of you on the 28th.
All right.